Hello people of the internet. Today we are going to work on Pulp again, more specifically copper integration with Pulp. And for today we have this special feature called persistent projects, meaning persistent copper projects. If you don't know what persistent copper projects are, don't worry. It's a special feature used by very few projects, and you need to specifically, explicitly ask for that. And I don't think you can enable it yourself. You need to create a ticket, and admin can enable it for you. And so far, only these 9 projects has the feature enabled. Personally, I don't even think the feature is needed, but yeah, I think the consensus was we want to preserve the function, the feature, and keep it in copper moving forward, moving towards Pulp. Yeah. So also the thing is, there are more copper instances than just Fedora copper. So even though our instance doesn't use this heavily, maybe there are other instances that do. So yeah, we want to preserve the functionality, even though we don't see much usage here. Now, I have no idea how they are implemented. So this will be a little bit, we will first need to have a little bit of exploratory phase and figure out how is it even implemented now, and what does it mean in regards to Pulp. So what if we just simply git grab this. So we have some forms that set this, of course. We have some exception handling that only admins can set the persistent project. I already said that. Now, okay, there is some condition like you cannot delete a persistent build, probably. So the persistency means not only that it won't be removed by end of life stuff, it won't be removed by because the build is too old. Even the maintainers of the project cannot remove the build, it seems. I don't know what this could be. Let's take a look. Complex logic 109. Complex logic 109. Delete copper. Oh, okay. So we cannot even delete the project. It is protected. So I think all of these, like this, and builds logic, big number, build copper builds logic 1285. So these two, no, this one, these two should be shouldn't need any porting to Pulp, because this is straight on the copper frontend side. So So this shouldn't need any special treatment in regards to pulp. Let's continue looking. What do we have here? So we have copper's logic now. Okay, let's do copper's logic. Dot pi doesn't help us. Copper's logic here. Line 301. So around here. Non-admin cannot create persistent. Okay. So this is handling that we cannot create such a project. Okay, cool. So these were copper's logic. Models. Sure, this just stores the value to the database. Maybe this one will be interesting. I'm not sure. So let's take a look. So models, line 1442. So persistent. Oh, so this is probably implemented on CopperDir or build or something like that. So if we go a little bit up, breadcrumbs would be useful here, but whatever. Yeah, this is on a build. So basically build inherits the persistent value from copper. That makes total sense. It's just probably so we can have easy condition if a build can be deleted or something like that. So that makes sense. Now we have copper forms. Sure, this is just displaying the stuff. Maybe let's take a look. So copper's forms. Is it this one? It is this one. Sure, 146. Yeah, I don't really know what this means, but whatever. This is nothing of the nothing from this should be like pulp specific. And we have tests, and we have copper's general. So yeah, nothing actually should be relevant to pulp here. And I just now realized I'm in the front-end directory, so everything here is front-end. And yeah, there wasn't any fear or any... in the first place, I didn't think that front-end stuff should be like anyhow relevant to pulp. So we need to go one directory higher, run the same command, and basically ignore all the front-end stuff and focus more on backend, probably, right? So we have some stuff here. Run prune results. This will be, of course, interesting. So prune results. This can start being interesting. Prune results. No results. This one persistent. We have it on two places here. So if the persistent is true, we skipped the project. So this makes sense. And the pruner, I think, could work maybe. we have a separate ticket, right? We have a separate ticket for pulp pruning. We can find it quickly. Orphan cleanup, maybe this one, is it? Pruna, no. So we had two duplicate issues, and I think this one won. I was searching for the other one, but I think it was closed in favor of this one. So we have still an issue that we need to actually run pruning, meaning deleting old results in Pulp. And it is not implemented, so at this point we don't remove anything yet. And somebody is going to work on that shortly. The Pulp team is preparing some API for us, so we are waiting for that, but then we are going to take a look. And the plan is, like, we need to implement some cron that will send API requests to Pulp to clean some project. So I think maybe we can just improve this copper prune results script and put a condition somewhere. Put a condition somewhere, like run prune repo, clean copper. So for example here, it could call like remove whole copper builder if no longer contain RPM. Yeah, okay, so what, I don't know what exactly is the implementation details, but there could be something like if pulp, then shoot, oops, then like clean pulp project, right? It could be something like this in the future, and that would be helpful for us. And since we are already skipping the persistent projects here, then it would be for free, basically. Yeah, that could help us. Anyway, I don't see anything problematic here just yet. Copper CLI, yeah, this is just to create a persistent project. Test CLI, sure. Documentation, sure. This is unrelated. This is just mounting volumes in Docker Compose. The persistent is just a name collision. And here is our front end that we have already went through. Now Kubernetes, the same kind of name collision, OpenShift 2. Okay. And project GoPresala. Yeah, so that means that means we don't have any checks or any persistent stuff in the Copper backend. That makes our life much easier when it comes to this feature. I just realized when we were talking about the prune results, there is prune repo. I think we call it from here, prune repo. And it is a separate tool. Run prune repo. Run prune repo. I think it is somewhere. Call copper repo. No. pruning, call copper repo. I would bet you we somehow somewhere run it. It doesn't really matter. I know we somehow run it, and we will take a look at the prune repo. So it is this one. It is this project, right? It has some files. Yeah. So this contains the logic to actually figure out the old RPMs, I think, and somehow remove it. I don't touch it very often. So let's see if there is some persistent. You know what? We will clone it and we will do it in terminal. So let's jump to main. Let's jump to git. I guess prune repo should be here. cd prune, it is not here, so we'll clone it. This one, yeah, I don't know why this is broken, but whatever, different clipboard. cd prune repo git grep persistent. Keeps rpm for rpm, whatever, it is a test. So it doesn't do anything in regards to persistent stuff. So the only thing that actually is relevant to us is this script, persistent. So if we git grep this copper prune results, will we find it in cron? Copper prune results. Git grep copper prune results. So these are tests. This is comment and spec file tests here. So this is in the script itself. So it just talks about itself. What a narcissist. And documentation, spec file, example copper backend config, and daily. Yep. So cron tab daily, cron tab daily. We are running the copper prune results script here. Okay, so this is actually the script that prunes the results. Good. Which means the change that we need to do should actually be trivial. It should actually be trivial. Unbelievable. So we just confirmed, or at least I hope so, we just confirmed that no of the automation will remove the stuff even if in Pulp, because this script first of all doesn't work in Pulp, and second of all has the condition, and the rest of it is in Copper frontend, which is like storage agnostic and only deals with, hey, I will not allow you to create a persistent project, or hey, I will not allow you to delete persistent project or build in a persistent project. So everything is just fine. There is only one thing that actually is relevant, and we didn't find it through the grep. Let me show you. There is a storage.py which basically provides a storage agnostic interface and then implementations for the two storages that we have, which is like the normal file storage on Copper backend server, and then Pulp. And there is something like initial init project, yeah, probably. So we can see we have the method in like this base storage class, backend storage, and Pulp storage. We are interested in Pulp storage now. And create repository will probably be the thing that I'm interested in. We will see. Yeah. This is exactly the one thing that I'm interested in. So check this out. We have, this is how we create a project in Pulp on the most base level, like low level that we can imagine in Copper. We are like directly using some API endpoint in Pulp. We are defining some data. I hate the indentation here, by the way. And we are sending that post request. Yeah, we do self send here instead of requests send, because we are appending some authentication there and such. You can see we are appending headers which contains the authentication. Like, we don't need to go into the, and we also do some kind of safe request, which doesn't mean it is ultra uber careful, safe and perfect. It just means, hey, we are sure this is delivered, because we are repeating the request until it gets delivered. So if it, yeah, we are trying as many times as we need, so it doesn't happen that it fails and we just it falls somewhere between the cracks and we will never find out. No, it will be attempting forever. So that's our safe request. But yeah, this is it. Check this out. Check the data. Check out the data. So we are doing we are sending name, of course, and retain repo versions. This is fine too, because this is how many versions of the repository Pulp should keep. We only need one, because we always want to present the most up-to-date repo to the users. That's fine. We don't need many versions of the repository. But here is a temporarily retain all packages workaround for this issue. So we are planning in the future put a number here, which is not 0. 0 means don't ever remove anything from the repository. So basically persistent project. But we would like to have maybe 5 packages there or something like that. We can take a look into this ticket. So GitHub, let's do it this way. I think Magit has some cool command for that, but we will be stupid and we'll like click randomly and put the issue here. Right? Do you do it differently, or do you do it like a dummy like me? Anyway, going to continue in a new ticket, sure. Yeah, there is some explanation. Basically, we had a problem when where is the Nebra? Oh no, yeah, Nebra. Yeah. I don't want to go deep into this. Basically, the problem is that the problem was that if we have a, for example, project that rebuilds packages from pull request, the I honestly cannot explain the problem right now. There was a problem that somehow some version starts disappearing, right? And maybe it's the oldest ones, and maybe it is even like the highest version if it's the oldest one. I'm not exactly sure, but yeah, we needed to temporarily change the deletion there. Let me show you what there was previously. If we do magit blame, right, so there was a one line change here. So this is temporary workaround per docs. The default is 0, which will disable this feature and keep all versions of each package. And see, we had a 5 here, so we wanted to retain only 5 package versions. So I think what we need to do basically is we need to prepare this code to be ready for the persistent projects. And I think we need to do something like we need to pass a boolean here. So it will be persistent, will be by default false, right? Because most of the projects are not persistent. Is it persistent or persistent? My English, right? So if we search for, it's persistent here. Okay. So if we git grab this, we will find, yeah. So it's persistent. Cool. Yeah. Now we need to do something like, I hate this indentation and I will change it, because like no, just no. We need to basically do something like 0 if persistent, right? If persistent, else 5. But at this moment we still need the workaround, so it will still be 0, which looks very stupid now. But this is this is what we are going to need to do in the future. So I think we can do something like this, just to be ready. And is that it? Do we need to just change the colors and we are done with this? So we can try. This is called from just one place in Pulp storage in init project. So we need to, of course, do persistent equals now something. Let's hard code through here for a sec. How do we figure out if the project should be persistent or not? Maybe we already have that information and maybe we don't. I don't know. So what we are going to do is we will temporarily comment out the debugger. We will see our no, I need my logs, and everything is closed because my environment stack was restarted for some reason. That sucks. So we will find my tutorial on how to work with the Copper frontend, Copper Docker Compose. We want logs, right? So that's backend. So there is a logger. We want to jump into that container, and yeah, we don't want to run this actually manually. It is good enough to run the installed version of that script, but we just want to tail here. So we will tail f var log copper backend everything.log. Good enough, I think. And the thing that we want to do actually is run the action dispatcher manually. So we will follow the instructions here. It recreates only action, that's good. We will jump into that action container and we are going to run the action dispatcher manually. That's not helpful just yet, but will be soon. And we are running the front end, that's fine. Now we can open the website running on localhost and we can create a new project. We need the project to be in Pulp, and you cannot specify here, you can specify only on the command line. So we will need to, instead of the website, we will need to do it in the command line. The thing is, we have Copper tool. We could use the installed Copper tool, but while we are at it, why not use the command line tool from Git? It would be maybe useful. It will maybe be useful, maybe not. But yeah, since we are developing, let's use the command line tool from Git. We want to interact with the local environment instead of the production Copper website. So we need to use a special config that we have just for that. So config, in my config copper.docker, there is information, there is my auth key against the local instance, and we can create a new project called Pulp Percy stand. Let's do -1 just because I am sure we will need to do -2 and -3 and whatever. We need to specify a root. So Fedora 43x8664, and the most important thing why we are doing it in the command line is specifying storage, which is going to be Pulp. This is the parameter. It is not allowed to do, or not implemented how to do in the website. So we do this. On a local host, we created a new project, which should fire some actions on the backend, which should be processed by the action dispatcher that we ran. And if we jump to the logs, you can see there was some action which ended with success, and it created stuff. There were two actions actually. So you can see 49 and 48. And one created a GPG key, which is not Pulp related. Is it GPG key? I think it is GPG key. And one created the project in Pulp actually. And I don't know which is which, because the logs are a bit scrambled. So we are just going to run both of those again, and we will see what they do. And Yeah, we could of course take a look into the database and figure out from there, but actually here we can see it from here. See, executing generate GPG key. This is the ID 49. So the 48, which I don't see the start of here. Create repo. Yeah, here. Yeah, this one. It will probably have the 48 somewhere in the blob here, and that's the one that we are interested in. So it's this ID, and we will run it again. This time with a debugger, right? So if we take a look into this document, into this blog post, and we go to backend again, here is how to run the dispatchers, but here are some helpful commands, how to run a single build, how to run a single action, and so on. So we can take this, just copy paste it, and put here the correct task ID or action ID that we want to repeat. If we do this and we uncomment our breakpoint here, we should get into that breakpoint. Good. My music just finished, so I will find something so that we can continue. This sounds reasonable. Yeah, okay, cool. So, what do we know about our project? We need to investigate. We are inside of a storage class. What do we know about storage? We know some stuff. It seems though that we don't have any information about the persistent project, I think. If we take a look at self dict, for example, and we should pp it, doesn't help. Yeah, because most of it is opts, and that's munch. That's why it is this not pretty printed. But we can do self opts dict and show the opts. But I think this is just config. This is just Copper backend service configuration. This is not related to any, yeah, you can see there are build limits for all builds and so on. So the Pulp content URL, yeah, so this is backend configuration. This is not related to our project at hand. So we don't have the information probably. And it's kind of clear because we are explicitly taking as few information into the storage as we can, and they are explicitly listed here. And being persistent is on the same kind of level of information as being an devel project, for example, meaning manual create repo project, or having an upstream metadata. So yeah, we need to get the information about the persistent project into this class. So I think right after devel we should put persistent, and of course we need to persistent equals persistent here, which will break stuff because this is not an optional parameter. So everywhere where we could, by the way, change the init project interface and put the persistent here, but I don't really like that because As I said, persistent is on the same kind of level of information as being manual create repo or being an upstream, having upstream metadata. I like it on the, I want to have it on the exact same place where the other stuff. Now, we are going to figure out where the storage class is initialized and make sure we pass the information there. And we will pray that the information is available there about being persistent and that we don't have to like also pass it to that place. But it is 12:57 and I need to run on a meeting in 3 minutes. But since this episode is not finished yet, I'm going to go to the meeting and then I will continue working on this. So yes, see you in a second. And I'm back from the meeting. And actually I have only 20 minutes until a next meeting and then I'm done for the day. So we need to get moving and get this finished or at least into some reasonable state. So I have no idea where we ended up before my meeting. Sorry. I think we added the persistent here and we needed to find all of the usages of the storage class and pass the value there, right? So let's take a look. Can we find the usage? Okay, so this is okay. So can we find the usage of the of this class of the pulp storage actually? So this returns pulp storage, interesting, and there is some logic. Yeah, this checks for an instance, so we can ignore these, but this may be interesting. Yep, storage for enum. Yes, so somewhere we go, here we are. Args, we are taking some arguments, so basically those that we have seen here in this line, we are taking them with one more, which is the enum value. We are going to put the persistent here, and this line is too long, so we need to wrap this, I don't know, like this, probably, let's say. So we take the persistent argument, we need to pass the persistent argument. Persistent, I cannot type. Persistent, cool. So we are taking it here, passing it through the arcs into the storages. This is good. We need to find where this is used. In actions and in storage. Okay, so this is the definition, this is the usage, that's just fine. Is it though? GR, this line is storage for job. Interesting. Storage for enum. Okay, interesting. So we need to do the same here. We need to do the same here, but here we maybe have the actual value that we need. We will put the debugger here. Close this one, run this action again, and we have some problem. Why? That's because actions storage for enum. Okay, so we need to go to what actions by? Actions.py line 102 storage for enum. We are doing it here, and we have the So what if we put persistent here this line is too long again. Only a little. Let's keep it, and let's define the persistent equals, let's say true for a second. Let's run this again, and we are in the init project 307. Okay, let's move, and we passed. So we need to, okay, this is not called, this is probably called for builds only. So this breakpoint we will need to reproduce differently, but I bet you if we put a debugger here, this will be called when we are running the action. So let's do this. And we are in actions 101, which is the line here. 101, perfect. Now in self-ext data, hopefully that will be persistent. This doesn't return anything. Is it because the project is not persistent? Is it like true or nothing? Or do we not pass the value? Devel, storage, okay. So how is this? How is this created? We need to take a look at actions on front end, probably. Actions logic, maybe. So for example, we are talking about action which is init project, which is called probably create a repo here, send create repo, this action. And we have upstream. We don't have devel here. Do you see devel? Oh, here, if devel. There is some complicated logic about the devels. But we have the devel value here. But reason, yeah. It seems like we need to add the persistent value here. That is so annoying though, isn't it? But I'm afraid we need to do that actually. So the devel is being create report in. Yeah, here is the line. Devel equals dev. I don't know what the hell this means, but yeah, okay. So it equals around, yeah. So this returns boolean, and therefore we get a boolean value in this. Makes sense now. So we will put the persistent not here, but into the main data dict block. So we'll do persistent equals copper persistent. We don't have auto completion, but I believe this is correct. What we are going to do now is close this one. We need to create a new project. We are going to specify persistent true unrecognized. Okay, so is it just persistent? It's just persistent, okay. And we need to increment the suffix. I told you one project is not going to be enough. So we created one. We have some actions now, right? And the action IDs, I'm guessing, will be 50 and 51. What kind of action this is? Not self. We are in this breakpoint probably. So if we do devel, it's true, it's false. If we do this then, persistent, it is still empty. Okay, what kind of action this is? Action reason, so it has reason. This to me seems it's create repo action. Oh, I know. Yeah, this is the right action. It's just we didn't restart the front end, and therefore we served the same kind of action. So attempt number 3, doing this one. So if we go back to actions, close this. So 50 was create repo, 51 was create GPG key. So 52 will be create repo for the new action, for the new project rather. Now if we do this kind of shenanigans, it will work. Yes, good. So if we take this one, I'm getting spammed. Okay, meeting in 10 minutes, cool. So if we put the persistent here, we are passing the persistent here into storage enum, cool. Let's jump back into init project. So we have debugger somewhere in, yeah, here. Why here? Is this place relevant? Yeah, we are passing persistent through here. Yeah, that's the relevant place. Okay, so let's close, let's run again. Init project 307. This is where we are looking here. And therefore we should have self persistent now, which is correct. So this will be self persistent. And we need to wrap this a little. Should we do it like this, or should we do formatting? I guess we will do this kind of formatting. Yeah, I like this better. Okay, so we passed the correct value here. If we go to create repository, I don't know what's LSP doing now. Okay, so it's cool. And we are correctly using the value here. Yeah, that's correct. So I think if we kill this, run again, I think this should have worked. Good. I will validate later since we are pressed on time. Let me check our code changes. So in actions, we found out the persistent value and passed it as argument. In Pulp, we optionally take persistent attribute when creating a repository, and then sending the same kind of data that we did, but reflect on the persistent value. And we are returning, or we are sending 0 if persistent, else 0, but that's the temporary workaround for for the issue that we are having, but once that gets fixed, one of those zeros will be changed to actual number like 5. So that's good. Storage. We have this breakpoint here. We need to figure that out. It's related to builds. At the same time, we don't care about that when we talk about builds, but like building. So we could maybe pass none there and we are just fine. We'll see. Now we are changing attributes for the storage for enum and passing the argument. We are changing attributes or arguments for the constructor and setting it as a class attribute. That's fine, and we are calling it here. That's all right. Yeah. Action logic on the front end. We are specifying the persistent value when creating a new project and creating its action. Yeah, all of it sounds very reasonable to me. So that's good. We only have this one breakpoint here, which is a bit of a problem. Now, we should be able to do something like uses devel repo, so upstream devel persistent. So we should be able to put, for example, true here, since it's boolean, but we don't know. So we should be able to pass none here, and we should really be fine, because when building, we never do anything with the persistent value. However, I want to see if it's available. If it's already available, then why not use it? So quickly, we need to comment this out for a second. We need to do the same kind of thing that we did at the very beginning for the action dispatcher. We need to do it for the backend build dispatcher. So running this command and opening, this recreates only the build, running a shell in it, and we will run the dispatcher here. Now we are going to submit. We are not logged in. That's because this is localhost and there is some problem with local development something. So one. We are logged in now on some hostname issue. For local development doesn't really matter. Dist-git, we'll specify a package. Hopefully this should go through. Actually, you know what? We will quickly run the action dispatcher, because we didn't run it, and therefore some actions weren't processed, like an action that should have generated a GPG key for this project. And as I realize it, we are running the build in an incorrect project. Fucking hell. So we need to go to the latest one, right? That makes only sense. And we need to submit it here, this git here. Okay, hopefully this will work just fine. We have 4 minutes, a little bit of a rush. So this will take a little bit of time before it takes off. So what do we need to do then? Once the build is finished, we need to uncomment the breakpoint here. Then we need to run the build again. We don't have to build it, we just need to start the build to get the breakpoint. And we need to investigate what is inside of the job structure. But maybe we can do that even now. So if you take a look at job, like what does it have for attributes? So persistent is not available actually. Persistent. So we would need to pass it. pass it? Or oh, that's okay, that's unnecessary, I think. So we will do something like this. First of all, we will see if this build finishes. If yes, then this is fine. But we will put a comment here. When building, for builds would be better. For builds, we don't have to know if project is persistent. When building, we don't have to know if a project is persistent. If a project is persistent, and I kind of like maybe this style of comments instead of having it after that. So this is good. This will maybe take some time because I canceled the build from the previous project, and then therefore the builder is sandboxed for that project for some couple of minutes. So unfortunately this will take a few minutes before it finishes. So yeah, we will not wait for the result. We are almost done with the feature actually, so I'm planning to just wrap it up and file a pull request and then run like a test suite and so on. So I guess it doesn't necessarily have to be on the video since we are almost done. Anyway, thank you all for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.